And now to South America, where tensions between the United States and Venezuela are intensifying. Washington is preparing what officials describe as a new phase of operations targeting President Nicolas Maduro's government. Over the weekend, a wave of flight cancellations highlighted the deepening uncertainty. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration warned of a potentially hazardous situation in Venezuelan airspace due to heightened military activity, urging airlines to exercise caution. Eventually, Brazil's GOL, Colombia's Avianca, TAP Air, Portugal, and Spain's Iberia quickly suspended services from Caracas. TAP said safety conditions were not guaranteed, while Colombian aviation authorities cited potential risk around Miquita Airport. Some carriers, including Copa and Wingo, continue to operate, but schedules remain unpredictable. The FAA warning coincided with reports from 4 U.S. officials that Washington is in fact preparing to expand its Venezuela-related operations in the coming days. Now, while the timing and scope remain unclear, officials said covert activity is expected to form the initial phase. And all 4 spoke anonymously, stressing the sensitivity of impending U.S. action. And the Pentagon referred inquiries to the White House, and the CIA declined, however, to comment. Senior administration figures have not ruled out any options, with one official saying President Trump was prepared to use every element of American power to combat what Washington alleges is Maduro's involvement in drug trafficking, accusations the Venezuelan leader has repeatedly denied. Now, U.S. officials have also said that plans under discussion have included the possibility of attempting to actually overthrow Maduro. And as evidence, the USS Gerald R. Ford, the U.S. Navy's largest aircraft carrier, arrived in the Caribbean on November 16th with its strike group joining at least 8 warships, a nuclear submarine, as well as F-35 jets.
You suggested you've made a decision about what you want to do next to Venezuela. I understand you don't want to tip your hand, but is there anything you're ready to rule out at this point? Are you ruling out U.S. troops on the ground?
No, I don't rule out that. I don't rule out anything. We just have to take care of Venezuela. They dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country from prison, but what they've done to this country, and I really say this, what Biden and the Democrats have done to this country can never, ever be forgotten.
Now, since September, U.S. forces have carried out at least 21 strikes on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean and Pacific, killing more than 80 people, actions condemned by human rights groups as unlawful extrajudicial killings. Washington is also preparing to designate the Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization for its alleged role in drug trafficking. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the move brings a whole bunch of new options for the United States. And President Trump, on the other hand, has indicated the designation could enable strikes on assets and infrastructure tied to Maduro, though has also left the room open for potential diplomatic talks.
And we may be having some discussions with Maduro, and we'll see how that turns out. They would like to talk.
Now, inside Venezuela, the mood is tense as communes held their 4th popular consultation of the year. Voters in Caracas continued casting ballots even as reports of U.S. preparations continued to spread. Clearly, Washington is gearing up for war, and right now it appears nothing can stop President Trump from the fight, even if questions about the legality of U.S. actions abound.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.